Hello, my name is Alfredo, Urdaneta, and this is my final project for analysis of algorithms. Allow me just to run the code and then get into explaining how it works. This should be somewhat fairly quickly, as my n values for the array size is actually from 100 to 1000. This is due to some complications I had in terms of how long the actual program was running. As you can see, this is actually doing the amount of trials for each pass. So go through 10 times um, for 10 different trials, as you can basically see. So first I have in a random array that basically gives out. Oh, and here we go. Okay. So just have that going for right there while I explain this. So how I organized the code was basically um, creating a couple functions here, basically random array function. So it would give me my 100, 200, 300, all the way up to 1000 n size just in one go, and then I refresh that. So kind of a little bit different from the traditional way of going about it, and then storing those averages in this and the recorded times for divide and conquer and times of for brute. So essentially how it works is you have here is basically the main function. Yeah, the so I have basically the main function initializing some dictionaries just so I can tidy up and everything. The amount of trials I had were about 10 trials. That was defined by this is used for the average. Basically, every new trial, it would generate a new random array of numbers. Obviously, it's uh, so this actual random array function I created so that it would generate a new random array and then actually go through and check if any of those coordinate pairs are actually the same. If not, if they are, give them another random number for both coordinates, x and y. So that's that. In terms of, then we have our starting point in terms of trying to figure out the actual time. Then we have our brute force algorithm, which is this function up here, going by the actual pseudocode. Then we record the time. I put this if statement here, um, basically as a means of uh, for the dictionary to already put a time in. Um, once it's already there, this is mainly just for the first time. Otherwise, for trials 2 through 10, they will go through this portion where they add and sum up the previous number with the current time. So there's that. Then we repeat this process of start time, but instead we do it with the divide and conquer. We feed it the two pairs and basically go through the entire base case situation, or this entire thing is base case, I should say. Then we go through our dividing step, and then we go through conquer. Once conquer is done, we have our combine. And I'll explain a little bit more of this a little bit later. And then we basically that's this main function portion. And then divided by the amount of trials because all we're doing is adding at the moment. So now we just divided by the amount of trials, which was 10, on the overall portion for each n value for both brute and divide and conquer. And then we go and actually go through the actual math to generate the tables. So with the tables, here are the tables that were generated. Here is the actual graphs. So here is the brute force versus divide and conquer, the actual empirical times. Here you can see the empirical and predicted. And here for brute force, and then you can see it for divide and conquer. This, as you can see, one brute force is much more following the n squared versus divide and conquer is following n log n. You can see that the predicted on the empirical, or predicted versus empirical for brute force is actually uh, correct here and is very closely to the line versus divide and conquer, which is actually not. This, I believe, is actually due to, and this is what I was mentioning before, I believe these functions, as well as how I'm currently sorting the SY uh, array. I believe that these are actually, I tried getting them down so it doesn't have that n squared. However, due to lack of time, um, it, I'm stuck with more of a n squared motion here. Um, so yeah, and then just this is all plotting and just data keeping and basically trying to give out these tables. Um, Thank you for, oh, and this is the actual brute force is the first one. And then you also have your divide and conquer for each average time. Uh, Thank you for your time. And if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know or anything like that.